DC Adhiambo, a.k.a.
Maliet.
DC Kibet, a.k.a.
University.
We do this for honor.
Yeah.
Our loved ones, our family, and our country. 1, 2, 3.
Deliver bidhaa kama kawa kuna maswali.
Singo no tamu yudo.
Kuchemsha bongo. Soda wow.
Feel the excitement. Relish every moment. Get 1.5 GB at 50 bob. Valid for 3 hours. Furahia futa. Dial *544#. Make Chaguo smarter na Airtel, the most affordable network.
Make transactions anywhere in the world with the NCBA Visa card and stand a chance to win big. Join the FIFA World Cup 2022 when you win an all-expenses-paid trip for you and your +1 to watch 2 games. Or win exciting weekly prizes that will make your FIFA viewing experience super duper. All it takes is a swipe or a tap to pay 2,000 Kenya shillings or more with your NCBA Visa debit or credit card. The more you swipe or tap to pay, the higher your chances of winning with 1 point for every 2,000 Kenya shillings spent. Don't miss out. NCBA. Go for it.
Good afternoon. Thank you for creating time for us. This is KBC. You are in time for the Lunchtime News. My name is Irene Mchuma Odim. On sign language interpretation, we have Lanza Odingo. It is the 23rd day in the month of November 2022. The Kenya Institute of Special Education is this afternoon holding a conference, one that is bringing together education stakeholders as well as parents and other key players in addressing concerns in regards to education. We have our able team on the ground. We'll be linking live later on in this bulletin. Let's interact on all our social media platforms at KBC Channel 1. Our top focus this afternoon, Kiambu Planning Committee has started a crackdown in Kiambu County following cases of collapsed buildings in the county. Ruth Waithera, the chairperson of the Planning Committee in the county, has put on notice those developing buildings without approval, saying that such buildings will be brought down.
In a tour to assess the state of buildings in Kiambu County, the county's planning committee came across this go-down at Membli area in Ruiru that has been constructed in a controlled residential area without approval. It is alleged that developers of the go-down are continuing with development works at night, despite the building being condemned by the county government on the 19th of September 2022.
Mjengo huu ambao uko hapa ni mjengo ambao ulianzishwa miezi 4 iliyopita na ikakuwa imesimamishwa na serikali ya Kiambu County. Na mimi mwenyewe nilikuwa hapa wakati huu mjengo ulikuwa ukianza, nikaona sio mjengo ambao unaofaa kuwa katika hii estate.
Hata ukiingia hapa kwa mlango, hakuna kitu inaitwa sightboard ama signboard. Hakuna kitu inaelezea jengo ni ya nani, approval number ni gani na ni nini wanafanya hapa. Na kwa all developments zinafanywa Kiambu, hiyo ndio kitu ya kwanza inakuanga. Ukiangalia katika ule mkataba wa planning na spatial zoning, haufai kuleta hizi industries kwa majengo ya watu kwa sababu hata zinahamu watoto, hiyo kuingia ikitoka si vizuri kwa watoto na kwenye wanaishi hapa.
The chairperson of Kiambu County Planning Committee, Ruth Waithera, has said that the building must be brought down alongside others that have flouted construction rules.
Tunafaa kusema governor should lead by example. Hii kitu inafaa kuwa kutoka kesho imeangushwa chini kwa sababu haifai kuwa hapa na imejengwa kama haiko halali. And we want to bring into notice to all the land developers. Wale watu wanafanya hizi makazi hawana approval, wanajenga hizi vitu, wajue tutakuwa tukizunguka na hizi vitu zote lazima zikuje chini. Lazima ziteremshwe chini juu we won't allow hizi vitu zinaua watu.
Kiambu County has been on the spot in the past weeks following a series of buildings collapsing. Last week on Thursday, a 6-story building collapsed in Ruaka area, killing an elderly couple. On Monday this week, another building collapsed in Ruiru, less than 24 hours after the over 200 occupants had been ordered to evacuate. Nancy Okware, Lunchtime News.
All right, let's get back to the county of Nairobi, where the Kenya Institute of Special Education is holding a conference, one that is bringing together parents and education stakeholders, among other key players. Zainab Said is on that bit. Zainab, good afternoon.
Thank you, Muchuma. Yes, we're coming live from Kenya Institute of Special Education here, where the institution is holding its fourth conference on parental empowerment and engagement under the theme of parental empowerment and engagement in nurturing of children with disabilities. It's a 2-day event that's bringing together different stakeholders in the education sector, parents and caregivers. Moments ago, PS, outgoing education PS Julius Juan officially opened the conference, and he just pointed out few things that the government is doing just to ensure that parents, children with special needs in the country are catered for. He mentioned that the currently ongoing training of teachers on competence-based curriculum, CBC, is also incorporating skills on how teachers will be able to handle children with special needs when they join schools, mentioning that in the previous years that has been a gap and has seen many children with special needs who joined just the normal schools having difficulties in acquiring education, but mentioning that going forward, teachers who will be going to be trained as teachers will be able to get those skills, and just to ensure that children who they are cater for needs of children with special needs once they join the schools. So just to mention more on today's event that will be happening today and tomorrow, we are joined by the institution's chairman, Mr. Habat Sheikh Abdi, who will just shed more light on the today's event and what are some of the things that they are looking into discussing in the today's conference, and also tomorrow. Remember, tomorrow is the last day. Shukran, Dr. Sheikh. And can you just tell us about today's event? What are we expecting will be the findings after the 2 days?
Thank you very much. I'm forgetting the name.
Zainab.
Yes. Thank you very much, Zainab, for having me today. And let me take this opportunity to welcome you to the Kenya Institute of Special Education. We are holding the 4th annual conference for parents and stakeholders of children with special needs. And as you said earlier, the the conference was officially opened by the PS, Early Learning and Basic Education, Dr. Julius Juan, who made wonderful remarks in terms of what the government is doing and what the government emphasizes to do in terms of educational provision and educational support for children with special needs. If I back step a little bit on the institute. The institute was initially primarily built to train teachers who give support and educational instruction to our children with special needs. Long before that, teachers were normally trained in different institutions. Some were being trained in High Ridge Teachers College then, others were being trained in Kamwenja then, but Kenya got support from the Danish government in the early 80s, and they put up the Kenya Institute of Special Education, where now all the teacher training was centralized. But as time went on and the dynamics of education for children with special needs continued to change, there was need now to put up this facility that you can see where we are today, the National Assessment and Resource Center. This is a fully funded GOK project. It's officially complete, although it has not been officially opened, and it has been built with taxes from Kenyans. It is fully equipped. It's possible to identify all sorts of disabilities, and it's being done by professionals who are stationed in this place. If I now go to the conference that we have been holding for the last 3 years and the 4th year, being this year, the basic thing is that we are trying to expose everybody, every Kenyan, to the facts and features of special needs. Some of us have got very little understanding of what special needs is all about. And more importantly, some of us just believe that special needs is something that you are born with. And that once you are born normal, in quotes, then you have no chance of becoming someone with special needs. I want to dispel those rumors, and today, as a professional, reiterate that special needs is something that is lacking in the shadows for all of us. Any one of us could become a person with a disability anytime. For any reason. And therefore, there is need for every person to get to know what it means and appreciate what it means to be a person with special needs. Not necessarily a child with special needs who needs education, but even at the age of 50, if you lose your sight, how do you feel? How do you get back to normal life? If at the age of 60 you become hearing impaired for one reason or the other, you become sick with a sickness that interferes with your central nervous system, and you become deaf, or you become blind at the age of 60. Umezoea kuzungumza, umesha kujua vile ya kutamka maneno. You are used to all this, but all of a sudden, you can't hear. All of a sudden, you can't see. How do you fit into normal life? What is it that we can do as a government so that you and I, at whatever age that we become people with special needs, what do we need so that we can fit into a normal life? People with special needs are normally people who take a lot of time before they accept that they have a disability. It's just like someone who is sick, and he's being asked, go and test yourself for HIV and AIDS. And he says, no, me, I can't have HIV AIDS. Mm-hmm. And you see this person really going down. And the important thing, first of all, when you get a condition, is to accept that you have a condition.
Okay.
Then it becomes easy to deal with the condition.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sheikha. But of course, it's a conversation that we'll continue having here today and tomorrow.
Thank you.
And we will be here to cover. And thank you so much for your time. Thank you for agreeing to speak to KBC. Yes, Muchuma, as you've heard, we are here at Kise. The conference is ongoing today and tomorrow. Some of the things that the stakeholders want addressed is to make sure that such institutions are also found in different parts of the country. We will be following on the story and we'll be sure to update our viewers in our subsequent bulletins. Thank you so much. Zainab Said from Kise.
Good to have you, Zainab. A section of landowners in Nginda Ward, the county of Embu, have petitioned the government to fast-track their payment of 73 million shillings as compensation for land used in the construction of a 63 kilometers ring road in the area. They say the government is yet to honor its pledge since the year 2018 when they gave out the land. In 2018, the Kenya Rural Roads Authority, KERA, allegedly acquired parcels of land worth 73 million shillings from some landowners in Nginda Ward, Embu County, with a commitment to pay the compensation funds for the land before the end of 2018. The road stretching from Embu Level 5 Hospital in Embu North Sub-County through Kianjo Koma in Embu West to Siakago in Mbere North is complete. However, the landowners say they haven't received any payment.
Kwenda wa kamishina anatupatia wiki 3. Akaongeza wiki 2 iwe 5 ili tulipwe pesa. Lakini haya yote kufanyika hakuna kitu tulipata.
Kwangu mimi naomba hizi pesa tuweze kulipwa mapema iwezekanavyo. Kwa sababu watoto wetu walifanya mtihani ya form 4. Tangu wakati tulianza kuambiwa tutalipwa, tungali tu tunaendelea kungojea, miaka inaenda.
James Mushangi says he gave out land that he had grown tea, coffee, macadamia and avocado for livelihood.
Contractor alifanya tamaking akalipwa, lakini beneficiary wa hii mashamba yote hawakulipwa mpaka wa leo. Kwa hivyo tunauliza serikali ilipe hii pesa iwezekanavyo, sababu watu wengi sana kama watoto wako nyumbani, wale walimaliza form 4 hawajaweza kujoin colleges, sababu wazazi wanangojea hii pesa na ijalipwa mpaka wakati huu.
Manyata Member of Parliament Gitonga Mukunji argued that the delay in compensating the landowners had subjected them to financial difficulties.
There's nothing more unfair than keeping somebody whose life is living between hand and mouth. You keep his money for close to 4 years. It is sad. And I would like to say that this is a new government, and I'm happy that the few visits I've made at KERA have actually come up to be very fruitful because we know the status.
All right, let's now cross over to the county of Kwale in Diani, where engineers are having a forum which is being officiated by Water Cabinet Secretary. My colleague Hibak is on the ground. Hibak, good afternoon. How is the weather like down at the coast?
Thank you, Irene Muchuma. It is the third day here in Kwale County where the IEK is holding a convention for all journalists, or rather for all engineers. At the moment, we were speaking to the Cabinet Secretary for Water, Alice Wahome, and she was talking about how she wants to involve professionals in conducting the 100 Dams project and how that will be in effect, and 30 of them will be completed by, or rather within the next 3 years. Of course, we have a lot of players within this convention, and with us we have the Kenya National Highways Authority. If you could just tell us, players like you, how are you going to be adding to this convention?
Welcome to our Kenya stand. We are here at Diani Reef Hotel, where we are having the convention for engineers. Here we have come to show what Kenya does. Kenya is in charge of Class S, A, and B roads, totaling to about 21,500 kilometers. Maybe I might want to say what is Class S, A, and B. Class S is the superhighway, like our Thika Road and our expressway. Those are the superhighway. Then we have Class A. These are roads that are linking us to our international borders. Then we do have Class B. These are roads linking us to our other major county headquarters. So those are the roads that we do manage, rehabilitate, and develop. Currently, like last year, we did about 400 kilometers of new tarmac roads, but we are maintaining most of it. We are maintaining about 12,000 kilometers of our network.
And it's very important that you are maintaining these roads. Of course, now we've gained a lot of traction and a lot of people are looking into Kenya, especially after the superhighway. Can we just talk about some of the challenges that you're facing when conducting, or rather when putting these roads into effect?
Some of the challenges we are getting is vandalism of our road furnitures. People are stealing them. But we are not lying idle. We are also working on that. We are now trying materials that have non-scrap value materials. So we are having signs that do not have any scrap metal material, which can be used by vandals. The other challenge is even littering. You find people are littering our roads. So we have to have contractors to be cleaning our roads. These are things I think we could avoid if all of us took care of our roads.
And of course, as an authority, as KENHA, what are some of the things you are doing in the future to ensure road connectivity all through the country?
Okay, we are trying to make sure that our major Class A roads are tarmacked. Right now, we have one of the biggest projects that is coming from Isiolo, going to Modagashe, going all the way to Mandera. So we are trying also to open places that initially did not have tarmac. We are also now embracing PPP projects, so that where we do not have enough funds, we can use funds from other entities like the banks.
Thank you very much, Engineer. He has talked about public-private partnership, which has been a conversation that has been coming up a lot within this convention, and how engineers, or rather professionals, can be engaged when building infrastructure within the country and ensuring that as a country we are not only known for the buildings that we have and also for the professionals that we have. But for now, back to you in studio, Irene.
Thank you, Hibak. Now to security concerns. Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kindiki Kithure has ordered cattle rustlers and illegal grazers who have invaded various parts of Laikipia County to leave with immediate effect before the government moves in and forcefully drives them out. Speaking in Laikipia, Professor Kithure reiterated that the government will firmly deal with criminals terrorizing innocent Kenyans across the country.
While on an impromptu tour of Gadhanji village, Sosian Ward in Laikipia County, Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki put on notice cattle rustlers and illegal grazers who have invaded various parts of Laikipia County.
Nataka niwatangazie wale ambao wanafikiria tumekuja hapa kufanya mzaha, wajaribu kuendelea na hiyo upuzi yao, kwa sababu hatuwezi tukakubali nchi yetu igeuke kuwa ni nchi ambaye sheria haina maana.
The Cabinet Secretary said the government will firmly deal with the criminals who continue to cause mayhem and injure innocent people.
Government has declared a total war, complete war against cattle rustlers and all criminals, including people who are grazing on people's land without their consent.
His sentiments were echoed by a section of leaders from Laikipia who want the government to use all its resources in addressing cases of insecurity in the area.
Kwa hivyo tukubaliane, tuwe na bylaws zetu za hapa kwetu Laikipia, tuseme mtu akitaka kuchunga hapa, kwa sababu sisi tunaheshimu ng'ombe zao na heshimu mbuzi yao. Na wewe wakati naheshimu ng'ombe yako na mbuzi yako, heshimu mahindi yangu na maharago yangu.
Kitu ya kwanza, wale watu wote walitoka mashamba yao kwa sababu ya usalama, serikali ifacilitate warudi kwa mashamba yao, manake hiyo mashamba ambayo haina watu ina attract our illegal grazers. Point number 2, ile wizi wa mifugo iko hapa ni biashara. Tunajua hizi ng'ombe ni za mabwenyenye, na hao ndio wanauzia uoga, wanaweka mkiwa kwa wasiwasi. Sasa waambie hata Laikipia iko na mabwenyenye wenyewe. Ng'ombe zao watarudisha kwao na hatutakubali ng'ombe zao zikuja huku. Na tafadhali msikubali kutishwa. Tutawalinda, tutawapigania na nyinyi mpatie watu wetu usalama vile inavyohitajika.
Elsewhere, Kakamega County Government is set to build new police stations in Kakamega town in a move to strengthen security following increased criminal activities in the town.
Wakabisha na tulikuwa bado tujavaa manguo. Sasa ikakuwa tunawaambia ngoja tuvae manguo kidogo, wakasukuma mlango, wakachukua bwanangu wakamweka nje. Wakaanza kumpiga.
Kwanza kunipiga hapo na mpini, wengine na mapanga. Sasa ile wakati mimi kupiga nduru tena nataka kupiga paka watoto wangu hapo ndani, na tuseme bomoe mlango, wengine watoto pia watoto wapigwe.
Nina huzuni sana kuona wakipiga mtoto yangu. Naenda na nisaidianga kila mara na bibi yake. Alafu wanapiga wanamaliza ile mnaiwa kunisaidia hakuna. Ndasaidiwa na nani?
Speaking after touring the Masingo area in Kakamega County, Kakamega Deputy Governor Ayub Savula said the project will be funded through the county emergency kitty.
Tulikubaliana police posta Makaburini. Lakini population ya area ni kubwa sana. Tumekuja tu survey, tuangalie ni mahali gani tutaweka police post. Hata police post ikiwa mbili hakuna shida. Sitaka kulinda nyinyi. Tuweke Makaburini na hapa kwa sababu ni soko kubwa na wananchi ni wengi. Tuweke police post nyingine hapa.
Kakamega County Commissioner John Ondego said already more than 20 suspects have been arrested and arraigned in court over criminal activities including murder.
Tusiogope kutoa habari muhimu, sababu ikiwa tumeogopa hii mambo ya ujambazi hatutamaliza, lakini tukishirikiana na ninyi tutamaliza hii mambo ya ujambazi hapo.
Ben Chumba, Lunchtime News.
You're watching the Lunchtime News. Thank you for keeping it KBC Channel 1. Thank you also for your feedback on our social media platforms. Majority of you asking which game are you showing today or what time are we going over live from Qatar. That will be at 10 p.m. and we'll be bringing you the match of Belgium versus Canada. See you on the other side.
It weighs at 6.175 kilograms and stands just 36.8 centimeters tall. But while the FIFA World Cup trophy is not the biggest or heaviest in world football, it remains the most coveted. It is, as FIFA President Gianni Infantino says, a mythic object for players and for all football lovers. And it will remain the source of dreams for millions between now and the Qatar 2022 final on 18th December.
Make transactions anywhere in the world with the NCBA Visa card and stand a chance to win big. Join the FIFA World Cup 2022 when you win an all-expenses-paid trip for you and your +1 to watch 2 games. Or win exciting weekly prizes that will make your FIFA viewing experience super duper. All it takes is a swipe or a tap to pay 2,000 Kenya shillings or more with your NCBA Visa debit or credit card. The more you swipe or tap to pay, the higher your chances of winning with 1 point for every 2,000 Kenya shillings spent. Don't miss out. NCBA. Go for it.
I was part of the team ilitumwa to take out Burhan. Nilikaa for 5 years, nika study the man. All I ask is you let me right my wrongs and give me an opportunity to bring Burhan down for good.
Na una hakika hiki kikosi chako kitaweza kufanya hivyo?
Yes, sir.
Hii kikosi yako kuna kina nani?
Senior Sergeant Farah, aka Stingray. Kopro Ibrahim, aka Mongoose. Kopro Katana, aka Panther. BC Adhiambo, aka
Maliet.
BC Kibet, aka
University.
We do this for honor.
Yeah.
Our loved ones, our family, and our country. 1, 2, 3.
Singa no tamu yudo.
Kuchemsha bongo.
Soda wow. Do you have a news story to share with KBC? Get in touch swiftly on email news@kbc.co.ke or call 0723-892-654 or 0734-780-124.
Thank you for keeping it KBC. You are watching the Lunchtime News. Welcome back. Now, as Kenya gears up to mark this year's 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, citizens have been urged to report such cases to police instead of resorting to other traditional methods that often deny victims access to justice. Chief Medical Officer of Health in Western Mumias in Kakamega County, Karen Nyada, has also urged religious leaders, among other stakeholders, to cooperate in enhancing awareness on gender-based violence cases. 433 cases of gender-based violence have been reported in the past 10 months in Mumias West constituency alone.
Kila mshikadau amekuwa akiongelea jinsi ambavyo tutaweza kusaidiana ili tukaweze kupunguza idadi za kesi ambazo ni za kijinsia katika wilaya yetu hii, na tunashukuru ya kwamba wote wamekuja na kila mtu ako na sababu ya kukuja hapa, na tumekubaliana ya kwamba tukitoka hapa kila mtu ataenda kufanya kazi ambayo inamfaa kuhamasisha wananchi kuhusu hizi issues za gender based violence.
Na sisi tunaomba viongozi wasiwe waoga kuzungumzia mambo haya, na yanapotokea kweli yanatokea kwetu, kama tunaweza kuwa na vitengo maalum ambavyo vinaweza kuwa vinazungumzia masala haya bila kuogopa, na hata tunaomba wale waelekezi wetu kama watahusisha vitengo maalum ambavyo vitakuwa hata sisi viongozi wa kidini tukipata nafasi tunaweza kuwa tukijadili, tukizungumza ndani yake ili kupata suluhu za kudumu.
Former Tana River Governor Hussein Dado has moved to court to challenge the victory of Tana River Governor Major Retired Dado Godana. Cecil Miller, who represented the petitioner Hussein Dado, told Justice Margaret Mwangi that the exercise was marred with electoral malpractices, revealing that some ballot boxes were reopened at the tallying center.
Tana River Governor Major Retired Dado Godana has begun testifying in the petition challenging his August 8th election victory at the Malindi High Court. The petition was filed by former Governor Hussein Dado. Cecil Miller and Peter Wenwa, who represented the petitioner Hussein Dado, said the exercise was marred with electoral malpractices, revealing that some ballot boxes were reopened at the tallying center. The governor spent the whole afternoon in the dock testifying before Justice Margaret Mwangi. During cross-examination by the petitioner, Godana admitted that in some polling stations, the votes in Form 37A, Form 37B, and Form 37C did not match. During the hearing, the governor, through his lawyer, Tom Ojenda, said the petition was to protect the credibility of the court and ensure the truth. The hearing continues with the governor being cross-examined by the IEBC lawyers, after which there will be 2 more witnesses from his side to complete the respondents.
A section of residents residing in Lindi's Kibra slum in Nairobi are struggling with sewer overflow in their homes. This after Ngong River burst its banks, leaving a trail of destruction in the area. Residents have faulted the poor construction of a bridge in the area for their predicament. The temporary structures have been submerged by the Ngong River waters, leaving the affected struggling. They are now calling on the government to reconsider raising the bridge to give way to water flowing from River Ngong, especially during the rainy season.
Shida
inatupatanga wakati wa mvua sana. Kama hii bridge venye unaiona iko chini, hasa mvua kama inanyesha hiyo huwa ina block. Ikiblock maji huwa inarudingi. Ikirudi inaingia kwa manyumba. Hasa ikiingia kwa manyumba unapata kukaliki. Tuseme hiyo nyumba kama kuna mtoto ama mama mwenye miaka imesonga, unapata inakuwa hadi sana.
Hii bridge venye ilijengwa, hii tunnel imetuletea shida sana. At least venye ingejengwa, ingekuwa kubwa, ingekuwa na juu. Juu sasa hii tuna struggle sana. Manyumba kuna mwenye anakaa kwa amani hapa. Hakuna mwenye anaweza fanya biashara yake hapa. And then waangalie pia side yetu. Kama vijana kama mayouth venye wanaweza tu support venye watatoa hii tunnel. Juu hakuna hata venye takataka inapita na hakuna hata pia tingatinga inaweza support hii nini maji.
Parents from Kajiado County have been cautioned against subjecting their girls to female genital mutilation, FGM, and early marriages. This comes at a time when schools are breaking for long December holidays, a period that often registers high cases of FGM. In 2019, former President Kenyatta Uhuru made the bold and important pledge to eliminate FGM in Kenya by 2022.
As schools break for a 2-month holiday, parents have been warned against subjecting their girls to female genital mutilation, a practice that is often on the rise during the long holidays.
Ili tukomeshe ndoa za mapema na hii ukeketaji wa wasichana, ningeomba serikali tafadhali mulete misaada Kajiado, muwasaidie ili jamii wakapate kujiumudu katika maisha.
During a sensitization forum in Ilbisil Town, Kajiado County, a call was made to both levels of government to work hand in hand with grassroots organizations to establish and identify drivers of female genital mutilation in the region with an aim to deal with them. Village elders in Ilbisil committed to be the front line to campaign against drug abuse and attempts of female genital mutilation. Parents have also been called upon to take their parenting role seriously and ensure they take time to guide, bond and counsel their children.
Tukasema kwamba tukikuta mtoto yoyote mahali pale, tutachukua hatua. Tutaweka mtoto kiboko na tumfikisha pale police station, na tukishafikisha pale, wewe mzazi ukipatikana na makosa tutakuchukulia hatua.
Mtoto wetu kuja kuharibiwa na wengine, na hata pia hiyo wanachukua hizo pesa wanaenda kuvuta bangi, wana hizo company. So lazima ujue mtoto wako anatembea na nani na ni wakati gani. Make sure mtoto wako by saa 12 ako nyumbani.
Frederick Parsayo reporting for Lunchtime News.
A family in Olrongai village on the outskirts of Nakuru town is calling on well-wishers to come to their aid and help them bury their kin. The family says their kin's body has been lying at the Omash Funeral Home in Nakuru County since October 6th last year after the family failed to pay a medical bill amounting to 5.5 million shillings to Nakuru Nursing Home.
A family in distress with pain and daily agony as they cannot bury their father 1 year after he passed on due to unpaid hospital and mortuary bills.
Na huyu ameaga ni mzee yangu. Na aliaga juu ya corona. Hii bill ikakuwa mingi sana. Hatukuwa na uwezo wa kutoa ndio tupewe mwili tukuje tusike.
According to the Facilities Accounts Department, the mortuary fee now stands at 500,000 shillings, while hospital records indicate that the family is yet to settle 5.5 million shillings.
Tuliwaambiwa tutoe pesa hiyo milioni 5.5 ndio tupewa mwili. Sasa sisi tukashindwa. Kwenda huko tena makasema hatutaki kusikia hiyo maneno yenu, tunataka pesa.
The family's predicament only points to the jeopardy that poor families find themselves in when hospitals hold on to bodies of relatives due to unpaid hospital bills.
Serikali ile ingesaidia ni kuzungumza na haya hospitali na mocharizi ili waweze kuzungumza, tuangalie hii gharama inaweza kumbuswa kwa njia gani kwa wananchi, kwa sababu bili zikiwa nyingi namna hiyo, watu wengi katika jamii mtu wao akifa watakuwa ni kuumia tu.
They are now worried that the accumulating bill may be too high for the family and they might not be able to give their father a befitting send-off. They are appealing to well-wishers to come to their aid and help them so they can lay their kin to rest.
Kila siku nafikiria si yako kwa moshari sasa, hata kasi sifanyagi vile inakuwa nikifikiria tu maneno yake, lakini nikimusika nitakuwa na roho safi. Sasa niendelee na maisha yangu.
Jacqueline Masharia for Lunchtime News.
All right, residents of Meru County are now expected to forward their submissions either in support or against the impeachment of Area Governor Kawira Mwangaza. Dennis Kiogora, the Meru County MCA who tabled a notice of motion to impeach Area Governor, says if supported by residents, the motion will then be voted for at the County Assembly before it is handed over to the Senate. Residents have been urged to participate in the process and ensure their voice is heard over the matter.
The supremacy battle between Meru Governor Kawira Mwangaza and members of our county assembly has reached a boiling point. Speaking outside Meru County Assembly chambers on the impeachment process of Meru Governor, Meru Member of County Assembly Dennis Kiogora urged members of the public to present written submissions, noting oral submissions may be difficult due to the interest the issue has attracted.
Tutakuwa na lile jambo linaitwa public participation siku ya Jumatatu toka saa 2 asubuhi mpaka saa 7, wakilisha maoni yao yakiwa yameandikwa.
The legislator said that after receiving submissions from members of the public, Governor Kawira Mwangaza will be accorded time to give her submission to the County Assembly on Tuesday, 29th of November 2022, with the County Assembly expected to debate the issue on Wednesday on 30th November 2022.
Tumaini tunatarajia governor atapewa nafasi pia kuja hapa jitetee mbele ya wabunge, na Jumatano tujadili yale mambo ya ule mswada na tuweze kupiga kura yetu kulingana na tukiangalia mswada wenyewe.
If the County Assembly votes in favor of the impeachment, then the matter will proceed to the Senate, where grounds of impeachment will be debated on the governor's fate decided.
Thank you for staying with us. Time for Channel 1 Business News. Value chain players in the agriculture sector want agriculture digitized to strengthen the country's food system to lower food prices. Hannah Reid, Agriculture Program Officer at Bill and Gates Foundation, says Bill and Melinda Foundation says digitizing agriculture is key in mitigating the effects of climate change on agriculture by mending the sector's value chain that has been affected by global fertilizer scarcity and high fuel prices.
Kenya is facing one of the worst droughts in 40 years that has seen over 3 million people in need of food aid. The food scarcity situation has further been compounded by the Russia-Ukraine conflict that has seen fuel and fertilizer prices increasing, making the cost of agriculture production out of reach for many small-scale farmers. Value chain players say there is need to strengthen the agriculture value chain and food systems through digital technology to expand critical services to smallholder farmers across the country.
Mercyco AgriFin focus specifically on smallholder farmers, working closely with private and public sector players to build digital solutions that we believe will improve the productivities, incomes, and resilience of smallholder farmers.
Digitization of agriculture services has been earmarked to address market failures that exclude smallholder farmers, particularly women, from access to investment services, markets, and support needed to increase productivity, income, and resilience in the face of the increasing risk of climate change.
What this shows is that there needs to be specific targeted activities to just support women to participate fully in the agricultural sector.
The government and the private sector have been encouraged to invest in technology tailor-made for women and other marginalized workers in the agricultural sector to boost production. Ndosamo Kami for Lunchtime News.
Across the border, South African retailer ShopRite has decided to shut its shops in Democratic Republic of Congo. The decision follows the closure of operations in Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Madagascar as the group aims to focus more on its business in South Africa. Here now are the details of this and other stories making headlines across the continent.
South Africa's biggest retailer by market capitalization launched in Congo a decade ago during its aggressive African market expansion. ShopRite has decided to shut its shop in Democratic Republic of Congo. ShopRite's 3 shops in Congo are among 2,800 stores across 15 countries in Africa. The company said after the sale of its Nigerian unit last year that it was changing its model from an ownership to a franchise one after a review of its long-term options in Africa. It said its expansion plan had been hit by currency volatility, double-digit inflation, high import duties, and a dollar-based rentals. Meanwhile, Nigeria President Muhammadu Buhari has officially flagged off the anticipated drilling of crude oil at the Kolmani field, which is lapping on the border of Bauchi and Gombe states. The first phase of the exploration will entail an in-situ oil refinery of up 120,000 barrels per day capacity, a gas processing plant of about 500 million standard cubic feet per day, a power plant of up to 300 megawatt capacity, and a fertilizer plant of 2,500 tons per day, 1 billion barrels of crude oil reserves, and 500 billion standard cubic feet of gas exits in Kolomani River oil and gas field. Finally, the executive board of the International Monetary Fund has approved a disbursement of $88.327 million to Malawi under the food shock window of the Rapid Credit Facility. The country became the first low-income nation to receive financing under this new mechanism. It provides for a year a channel for emergency fund financing to members countries that have urgent balance of payment needs due to acute food insecurity, a sharp increase in their food import bill, or a shock to their cereal export. Malawi is one of the 48 countries the IMF identified as worst affected by the global food crisis aggravated by the war in Ukraine.
Before we go to sports news, let's find out other news making headlines from the counties. The government has initiated a plan to distribute relief food to schools in the county of Kilifi to alleviate drought. Cabinet Secretary for Public Services and Gender, Aisha Jumwa, says this will help in retaining learners in school, especially candidates who are about to sit for the national examinations. Malindi Member of Parliament Amina Munyazi welcomed the initiative, saying the drought had caused absenteeism in schools in arid areas of Malindi County.
Na hawa watoto wetu ambao wanaenda kufanya mtihani, kuna shule ambazo tumeziidentify kwamba tutazipea chakula wakati huu wanapoangalia mtihani wa kitaifa. Kwa hivyo tutawapea chakula, watakula na kila kitu kitakuwa sawa mpaka wamalize mitihani yao. Kwa hivyo wale ambao shule zao zina hatihati, ni vyema tujue pia ziko wapi na ziko upande gani ili chakula kikaweze kuwafikia.
Tunataka tupeleke katika shule zote 44 kwa sababu mimi ni kiongozi wa watu wote wa Malindi. Hakuna shule ambayo iko bora kuliko ile ingine.